That breaking news is happening in Bentonville tonight, where police say a man has died after a shooting today on South 14th Street near Interstate 49. Bentonville police also say they believe it stems from what started as a road rage incident. Officers arrived on the scene about 2:30 this afternoon and found Daniel Davidson with gunshot wounds. Investigators believe it began initially as an argument. Davidson then ran toward the other vehicle in a parking lot, and the altercation turned physical and shots were fired. Davidson's family shared this photo of him. His family tells 5 News he leaves behind 3 children and was soon to be married. Police say EMTs were called, but Davidson was pronounced dead at a nearby emergency room. The other man involved in the incident stayed at the scene after the shooting and was released after the interview with detectives. No charges have been filed at this time. That shooting happened near the Kennedy Coffee Shop on Southeast 14th Street. The owner told us he watched it all unfold out of his window. He says an off-duty officer who happened to be inside the coffee shop quickly ran out to investigate as soon as the shooting took place.
Luckily, we did have an off-duty police officer from the Fayetteville Police Department, I believe, who was able to run out and take a look at the incident pretty much immediately. And the Bentonville Police Department was also very quick to get here. I believe they were here in just a couple of minutes.
Investigators believe it is an isolated incident. There is no threat to the public. Detectives are continuing to collect evidence, including surveillance video. If you witnessed it or had anybody that witnessed the incident is asked to contact the Bentonville Police Department. New tonight, a daycare worker is facing charges after being accused of child abuse. Siloam Springs police arrested Mary Ann Clybury on 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor and battery. Investigators say video shows her dragging one child across the room and forcefully grabbing another by the arm, which caused them to hit their head. Court documents also show she forcefully lifted one child off the ground by jerking an arm. This all allegedly happened at the Friendship Pediatric Services on Whitlock Drive. Clybury is out of jail on bond tonight. Tracking some cooler temperatures at least by the end of the week. Chief Meteorologist Scott Covert in the 5 News Weather Center now with a look at a very chilly tomorrow morning.
No question about it. There's actually a cold front moving through right now. Now, it's a dry cold front, so it's not going to bring any rain or storms, but it is shifting the direction of the winds. And those winds, which I know you know this, are breezy out there today. My goodness. Well, they're going to be breezy again tomorrow. The difference is instead of those southerly winds that made it a little bit warmer out there today, well, those northerly winds are going to result in it being relatively cool out there. In fact, overnight tonight, we're going to see those temperatures bottom out around 45 degrees. By lunchtime, we're in the low 60s in northwest Arkansas, mid 60s for the evening. It's going to feel a little bit different out there come tomorrow. In the River Valley, we're falling into the low 50s, very comfortably in the low 70s by noon, and we'll only find ourselves in the low to mid 70s by tomorrow afternoon. There are some changes as we track the weather for the rest of the week. Yeah, it's going to get breezy out there tomorrow, but by the latter part of the week, we have a different kind of cold front, one that's going to move through and it's going to bring some chances of rain, potentially a few more rounds of thunderstorms. How that could all linger into the weekend and impact our plans right here in just a few minutes.
All right, Scott, thanks. The Senate once again failing to pass a spending bill that would reopen the federal government tonight. It is the 11th straight vote that has failed to get the 60 votes needed to pass. Republicans and Democrats have been at odds over health care subsidies set to expire. Democrats say they want to negotiate on the issue now, but Republicans say they'll negotiate when the government reopens. New tonight at 10, Arkansas ambulance services say they're facing a funding crisis because of that shutdown. Leaders warn it could impact staffing and response times, especially in rural parts of Arkansas. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer joining us now with how stakeholders are planning to respond to emergencies moving forward. Lauren.
Yeah, Darren, EMS providers say Medicare is the largest payer of ambulance claims in the United States, but because of the current shutdown, the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS, stopped processing claims. It's now leaving most ambulance services with less than half of their funding and an uncertain future. Usually, ambulances are the ones responding to emergencies. But EMS providers are now facing one of their own.
We are one of those three legs of the stool. When you have fire, police, and EMS, if you take one of the legs off of the stool, it's not going to be able to stand.
At Southwest EMS that serves Crawford County, 60% of their funding comes from Medicare.
We might not be able to staff in the time of need any extra ambulances to meet that time of need.
President and CEO Robbie Hines says rural and super rural services are hit even harder because their extra 22% add-on Medicare payments also stopped.
It puts us in a position where we may have to look at going and actually making a loan.
IV kits.
Ken Kelly with the Arkansas Ambulance Association says this ripple effect goes beyond EMS.
In this situation, mutual aid and backfill may not work because everybody's facing the same crisis.
Staffing, supplies, and fuel. It's all things they need funds for. Without it could mean delayed response times when seconds matter most.
This could mean the possibility that units aren't staffed because they can't pay their employees. The units may not be able to be staffed because the service can't afford to do critical maintenance.
Hines says they'll continue to answer the call, but they need the government to do the same.
We need fire protection, we need police protection and security, and we need someone to get people to the hospital when they can't get themselves there.
Now, Kelly says they did get word that the regional Medicare contractor Novitas is going to start processing some claims from early October, but not all of them, leaving services with no way of knowing who will actually get paid. Hines says the Arkansas Ambulance Association has now sent letters to the federal level asking CMS to restart Medicare payments again. Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
All right, Lauren, thanks. About 42 million Americans are at risk of losing critical food assistance if no deal is reached by next month. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says the food stamp program will run out of money at the end of October. About 1 in 8 Americans get help buying food through SNAP. More than a dozen states have already stopped accepting new applications for the program as a result of this shutdown. Springdale Public Schools reporting that student enrollment is down this year. The district says it's lost 621 students since last school year. District leaders say many families have moved out of state or chosen other education options like charter or private schools. Now, the drop is mostly being felt in lower grades, with high school enrollment actually higher this year. The district expects losing hundreds of elementary age students will make a significant impact on the future.
You can see that the vast majority of the students that we are missing, 492 of the 621 are K-5. I mean, that's the size of an elementary school, and that's worrisome.
Fort Smith Public Schools also report a decrease in enrollment this year. Fayetteville Public Schools say its numbers have remained about the same. University of Arkansas Fort Smith held a free event for veterans today with the Wounded Warrior Project. That event aimed at connecting veterans and active duty service members with support services and community resources. Army veteran Yolanda Pollard also shared a keynote address reflecting on her own military service in Afghanistan and Iraq. That event also included a panel discussion on the student-veteran experience.
The trauma of what they've seen over there, what they've done, what they've heard, things like that, those are things that are going to last with them forever. And so just the ability to give them resources to help, overcome that and to live normal lives and to feel normal and not constantly be looking over their shoulder.
That event is one of several outreach efforts by the UAFS Veterans Support Program, which works alongside the Wounded Warrior Project. UA Fort Smith also launching a new program designed to strengthen nonprofits across the River Valley and give students a chance to gain hands-on experience all along the way. The new Center for Nonprofits is being made possible through a $7.5 million grant. Goal is to help community nonprofits grow through leadership, training, funding access, and partnerships with the UA Fort Smith Social Work Department.
The sky's the limit, I think, for this center. There's not anything like it in the entire state of Arkansas, and so I really see it, especially with our University of Arkansas system being a statewide, school system, that this really could spread across the state and really bolster all the nonprofits across the entire state of Arkansas.
The center will locate in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Right now on 5 News Plus, you can watch a 5 News original featuring an interview with the creators of a new HBO documentary that focused on an Arkansas journalist. Bo Russell sat down with the filmmakers to discuss their new film called Armed Only with the Camera, the life and death of Brent Renault. Brent and his brother Craig are Arkansas journalists who have covered some of the most dangerous places in the world. 3 years ago, Brent was shot and killed while covering the war in Ukraine. Now, his brother Craig and good friend and photojournalist Juan Arredondo are sharing not only Brent's work with the world, but also his life.
For the next 20 years, I followed my older brother to the most dangerous places in the world. The United States started being involved in conflicts like Afghanistan and Iraq. And so we went to Afghanistan, we went to Iraq, and then when the Arkansas National Guard was called up to go into Iraq, we embedded with the 39th Brigade out of Arkansas, and we spent a year on the ground embedded with them.
That full documentary, Armed with Only a Camera, debuts tomorrow on HBO Max.